I'm talking about if you're 100% true and certain, do you exist?
Do I?
I'm asking you.
There's a very, very strong argument that none of us exist, that this is all a simulation.
Do you exist?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay.
I don't know, do I
What
exist?
part of the statement is not clear to you in the English language? Do, does, did, you, them, I, we, pronouns, exist, existence, non-existence. So which part of that statement, my question, is not clear to you? Do you exist? Then I can answer the question.
Well, instead of being patronizing...
I'm not patronizing it.
Patronizing
No, I'm not. Don't be offended, because the moment people say, what do you mean by that?
Okay, I'll put it back to you and you can give me your answer.
Yeah.
Do you exist?
I do.
How do you know? Okay.
Did you feel anything?
Yes, but...
Wait,
you be having
wait a second.
a dream?
Wait a second.
Could it feel...
Wait. If I didn't exist, meaning I was non-existence whatsoever, I was no atoms, no electrons, no quarks, heptons, leptons, gluons, bosons. I was nothing whatsoever. No space-time continuity. I was not a black hole. I was not quantum fluctuations. I was not matter. I was not energy. I was not time. I was not space. If I was totally non-existence, would you have felt that?
Well, how do you know that's real?
Would you have felt it? My question.
Did you I felt it.
You felt it.
But how do you know what you're feeling is real?
Wait, I'm asking you. This is my question to you. If I was totally non-existence, would you have felt it?
But you're assuming that I am real.
No. Would you have felt it? It's a logical question. Would you have felt it if I was totally non-existence?
You're assuming...
And I apologize for pushing you.
You are assuming all of these things are real.
No. I'm simply asking you. If I didn't exist at all, and I defined how can I exist? I can exist as matter, space, time, fluctuations, quantum fields, gravity.
How do you know that you are real and any of that exists? You don't.
Suppose I don't exist, right? That's what I'm asking. If I didn't exist, would you have felt it? That push.
Pushing me does not prove your existence or my existence.
So if I didn't exist...
Why did you move?
Why did you move? Thank you. It's hard, isn't it, when confronted with real facts?
No, because I'm not buying any of this. Pushing me doesn't prove I exist.
Why did you move?
Pushing you, everything here, everything could be in your head.
No. Why did you move? Next question.
I moved because you pushed me.
But I don't exist.
Maybe you don't. Well, what's the point you're making? Maybe you don't exist.
Yeah, so why did you move?
If he doesn't exist, then you should not have moved.
But this is what I'm saying. Maybe I don't exist. Maybe
then you would not have moved.
Yes, I would. I'd be in his head. If all of this was... If you
didn't exist, you wouldn't have moved.
If you were in a coma and you were dreaming all of this, you'd be doing all this in your head, but you wouldn't be doing any of it in real life.
I could have done something worse, right? I only pushed you. If I had punched you, you'd have punched me back. You'd be punching back to something non-existence, wouldn't you? Imagine I punched you. I hit you so hard, and I swear at you, I called you something very wicked, something very vulgar about your mother, about your girlfriend, about your wife, about your whatever. You would be hitting back something that doesn't exist.
You're missing the point.
Maybe I am.
I can't get through to you because you're too...
No, I understand what you're saying.
You're too close to the fact that there's always another question.
But the problem...
So you're using this as proof that I exist and that you exist, but it doesn't prove anything.
Look, the lady next to you doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't exist.
She might not.
That's okay.
You don't exist at all.
She might not. What are you basing
No,
your
not might,
on?
not might. She doesn't exist. Can you prove that she exists? I say she doesn't exist at all.
No, I can't.
So you can't prove that she exists.
I can't prove that she exists. I can't prove that you exist. No one here. I can't prove that any of this exists.
Yeah.
So, this is why, going all the way back to the beginning, this is why I can't have faith, because I cannot prove, personally, that anything exists, and I'm not going to accept anything else as a reason for its existence.
You know what?
So, I take it all as it is, and I try and enjoy it.
Okay, fine. I agree with you on one thing, brother. Sorry. I agree with you on one thing. I would request all these cameramans to make me disappear from your cameras, and you will see that in the camera, this gentleman is speaking to himself, being pushed, being spoken to, being reasoned with, and then he will say, yeah, I came to Speaker's Corner, And I was just speaking to myself.
Well,
should we do that?
There's a lot of people out there that do speak to themselves.
Or when you watch the videos again, you will say, that guy didn't exist. I just reacted like that. I didn't hear anything. These are all projections in people's minds.
Okay.
Is that what you say, right?
So I urge you to look up later, go on the internet. I don't personally believe it, but it is a very strongly held opinion by lots of top academics and scientists that there's a strong case for everything being a simulation. Everything.
Yeah, including you, right? Yeah.
Including me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't
where did the simulation, who created the simulation?
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm using it as
Was
an
there a
example.
creator of the simulation?
Well, exactly.
Or did the simulation
Brother, just one
come
second.
into being?
Brother, 1 second. If it's all a simulation, there is no such thing as a top academic. They don't exist either.
Yeah,
Wait a second. You can answer. Imagine this is all simulation. That means the top academic doesn't exist. So I am not going to argue for and even read books or go into the internet for people who don't even exist.
Exactly.
What are you
If
asking
they're
me?
a simulation, then those academics are a simulation as well. So they don't exist.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So what does that question ask then? So what are you asking at the end of that? Who made the simulation?
What I'm saying is, your genetic code
Yes.
is very complex, isn't it? It's more complex than any other book that's been written.
Yeah.
As is hers, as is his, as is that blade of grass, that tree. Can you not see that some intelligent being had to be behind
because
all of that creation?
No, because that very question, I want you to hold on to that, because that's my whole point.
How can you hold? You don't exist. No. Look, turn around. He doesn't exist.
You see, this is.
You shouldn't feel anything.
This is it.
Brother, 1 second. Hold it like that. You should not feel anything.
If you're going
He
to be
doesn't
silly,
exist.
if you're going to be silly, we can't
Silly?
debate.
You think this is silly? He doesn't exist. How can you debate when he doesn't exist, brother? You don't exist. Neither do you. Take care. You take care because you don't exist. Okay? Take care. How can I shake hands with someone who doesn't exist? How can I shake hands with someone who doesn't exist? Okay, let me ask you. Do you have a brain?
I don't know.
You don't know.
What's your point?
So, you might think that you don't have a brain or you have a brain,
I
right?
don't know. I just said I don't know. You're repeating yourself.
No. You really think you don't know, right?
Yes.
Okay, you sound an honest answer.
Yeah.
You honestly think that you don't know whether you have a brain or not?
Yes.
Really? Yes. Very interesting. So when you go, do you work or study?
I work.
Work. In your workplace, do you use your brain?
I don't know. I managed to think.
Right. So what do you use to do all this work? And
My hands. I can
your
see
hands.
them.
Okay. And your hand operates through what? By itself.
I don't know how I use them.
You don't have a brain.
People say it's the brain that determines the
You
movements.
need to know if you have a brain to live.
No.
Because definitely. So you don't need to know if you have a brain to be able
But
to use it.
I'm interested
That's
in
the
finding
rule.
out if you don't know you have a brain or not, and scientists are telling us it's the brain that actually regulates our movement and so on. So you
need
think,
to believe their testimony.
do you believe that you have a
I
brain?
don't care.
Do you believe?
I can create a logical construction based on what they're saying and not assume anything in the end. Just until I get a proof that it's correct or not, I can assume that it's correct or not. But if the whole logical construction is working, I can not disprove it.
So now you're bringing this question about logical credibility. If we use logical arguments, it's possible that we can accept it as an evidence. Is that what you're saying? So if someone demonstrates to you through a logical argument,
Construction can be logical and validated.
validated means you can accept it.
Doesn't mean that the basement is validated.
You're saying validated means it's acceptable.
Acceptable if the basement is validated.
What do you mean by basement?
The basement or
The
like
premise.
the hypothesis.
The premises.
But
Okay.
if you disprove the hypothesis, the whole construction falls down.
Yeah. So can you use a logical argument that you have a brain?
So far, no.
So far, no.
Die and look into my own
Right.
head, skull.
So all your everyday life, because you must have studied, right, in school and in university, wherever, right? And then You never once thought that I may have a brain.
I may have, but it's, as you said,
But you don't
it's
know.
only generalization.
So you don't know.
I've seen a brain in the human skull.
Sure.
I cannot prove that I have the same in my skull. I can just assume that given that it's the higher, the most likely.
Let me ask you another very silly question. Are you certain that you exist?
This is an interesting question.
That's what I said. It's silly, but it's interesting. Are you certain you exist?
No.
You're not certain.
No, maybe as Elon Musk said, we're maybe just a big simulation.
Yeah, it could be a brain in a jar, right?
What kind of way
In a
of thinking
museum,
is this?
it could be a brain in a jar.
Do you think you sound rational when you say these things?
No, it's not
I
rational.
mean, how can anyone take you seriously when you say these things?
You're ready to say a brain in the jar. For example, okay, this is not reality, but you're not ready to admit.
I mean, do you live your life like this, in oblivious? Like you don't know
not
anything.
Not knowing.
I mean, do you feel good about this? Like thinking like this? Is it a good way of thinking?
Does it give you peace and tranquility in your heart? Being that kind of hyper-skeptical, does it give you this tranquility in your heart? Who you are, what you here, what are you doing?
It's because I can build myself on this logical assumption. So far, if this ground hypothesis, I'm just asking for you ground hypothesis that makes you believe.
But you're not certain you exist or not. It could be just an illusion.
Are you certain that you exist? I've been
I am
answering
certain.
all your questions.
I am
about
certain.
Why?
Yeah. It's not about why. I am certain.
Okay, so you were answering question for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
No, it's my turn. Why are you sure
Okay.
you exist?
So you want to know?
answer.
So you want to know from me? Hang on. You want to know from me why I'm certain?
I think you couldn't take it.
Next.
Reality was too harsh.
Who's next? Reality
The,
was too harsh.
the level of hyper-skepticism really, you see, in the everyday life,
That's insincerity.
exactly.
He
In
knows-
the
he
everyday
knows
life,
very well.
they won't behave with that. Imagine he had a girlfriend or a wife. Would you really think that her girlfriend doesn't
Maybe.
exist like
Do
he
you
doesn't
really
exist?
Do I exist, baby?
Okay, may Allah guide us all, you know? May